So I had some free time on my hands, so I was just sitting in my room scrolling through Vogue. Yes, me, a professional thrift goblin. What? But while scrolling, I actually found something super interesting. I saw an article that was predicting the biggest trends of 2026, the spring and summer collections. And while looking at it, I had like this weird realization. Almost every single one of these trends can literally be found in a thrift store. And not only can they be found in a thrift store, they could have been found in a thrift store way before it was even a trend. What is up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Fred. We are on our way to 3,000 subscribers, so make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm. And without further ado, let's get back into the video. And you're probably like, nah, Fred, you're gassing it, bro. I go to the thrift store all the time. I don't find anything. And to that, I'm gonna say this to support my claims. A report from Thrift found that secondhand markets are literally projected to hit up to $350 billion within the next decade. Also, this information was tied to Vogue magazine. You're free to look it up yourself. I'm not gonna tell you what to do. But if you're not really good with numbers like me, you're probably thinking like, what does that mean for me? It means that thrifting isn't just cheap anymore, since a lot of people are doing it. It also means that thrifting is literally shaping fashion as we know it. And I know it feels like I'm pointing out the obvious, but just stay with me. Since I did do all that research, today we're gonna predict the top fashion trends of 2026 spring and summer. So let's do it. So the first trend that we do have up is called literary chic. And while looking at this, I was like, yo, what is this? I've never heard of it until I started reading the Vogue magazine, honestly. So I had to search it up. Literary chic is a phrase that describes a fashionable style inspired by literature. So you'll see a lot of things like tailored pieces, crisp button-down shirts, structured cardigans, pencil skirts, and classic knitwear. This whole aesthetic is inspired by classic academic style. So anything you would probably see in like libraries or universities and traditional tailoring. Designers are pushing this style because it blends functionality with refinement. Instead of loud, flashy outfits, the focus is more of simple pieces that layer well and feel intelligent and intentional. You'll see a lot of things like this from Prada or Bottega. The second trend that we have is silk scarves. This piece right here has always existed in fashion, but designers are reintroducing it in a more versatile way. And I'm talking like tied around the neck, your tote bag, headwear. You can even style it as a belt. Silk scarves work so well because I feel like they add color and texture without overwhelming the outfit. Luxury brands like Dior have long been using scarves to introduce prints and patterns into like minimal outfits. Now you can literally find scarves everywhere. You can go to a thrift store, you can go to your local gas station. It should be no way you don't have scarves. You should add that to your bag, twin. I'm not gonna lie. The third trend that we have is funnel neck collars. Me personally, I really love funnel neck collars. Any jacket with a funnel neck, the toughest thing ever. Ever since I've seen that, I was like, yo, I need that right there. It just has a very interesting silhouette that I can get behind. It's like it's similar to a turtleneck, but it's more structured. Instead of folding down, the collar stands upright. And designers love that little detail because it introduces a cleaner neckline, a more modern silhouette, and it adds like architectural structure. It's especially common in knitwear, coats, and minimal sweaters. Brands such as Miu, I hope I said that correctly. If not, grill me in the comments. But I've heard they've been experimenting with the funnel neck collars and they're pretty good at it. So if you want to check them out, you can. You can also find things like this in the thrift store. Like I have a Gap jacket that I found for like $12 and it's a funnel neck collar. It's not super extreme, but it's just the way I like it. So you can try the thrift store. It was pretty hard to find. I'm not gonna lie on that. But like I said, you can check out the brand Miu. Not sponsored, just saying if you want to get your drip up, you know what I'm saying? All right, so the next one, and I kind of want to add this into my bag, no pun intended, is oversized tote bags. I feel like oversized tote bags are like a noticeable accessory, and it's a lot that you could do with a tote bag. Like I said, you can add scarves, you can add labubus if you're still into that. You can add pins. It's just so much you can do with a tote bag. It's just so versatile. Fashion in the recent years has been shifting back towards practicality. Instead of tiny bags that hold almost nothing, even though that still exists, designers are starting to embrace bags that can actually hold things. Bags that can carry actual everyday items. Large tote bags emphasize things like utility, minimal designs, and understated luxury. I know brands like Chanel are pushing oversized bags that feel more practical and that are also stylish. I was gonna say Coach and what is that other one called? Calvin Klein? Michael Kors? I think it's Michael Kors. Every time I see those bags, they're dumb tiny. So if you're really into it, I would say Chanel, but obviously if you don't have the money, bro, you can literally find this in the thrift store. If you can't, you can literally finesse one offline for like $13. It's not that big of a deal. They're easy to come by. And I would say if you're going thrifting and you find a bag, just find a bag that's big enough to hold your stuff in, bro. That's the best advice I can give you. Next we have, and this is probably one of my favorites also, I really love coats, the elevated trench coat. Now apparently trench coats have existed over decades, obviously. Trench warfare, if you know anything about warfare or if you know anything about history, these things should be prevalent in your mind. Also, history plays a large part on, oh my God, I just came up with a video idea in a video. But originally, trench coats were used for like only military use. But fashion houses kind of turned them into like a timeless fashion piece. The new versions of trench coats emphasizes longer silhouettes, oversized cuts, stronger collars, and shoulders. These changes make the coat feel more dramatic and modern while still preserving the traditional structure. I actually went to the thrift store and I found a trench coat that stops like halfway. Dude, so tough. So tough. If you don't find any that like fits you like well in the men's section, I would advise go to the women's side. They have oversized like trench coats, but they fit so tough, bro. When I tell you they fit so tough. Next up, we have Poplin shirts. Now I've never known what this was, or well, I knew what the trend was, but I didn't know what you call this. But Poplin shirts are another essential element of this upcoming season. Poplin is a tight woven cotton fabric known for being crisp, breathable, and structured. Designers are embracing simple button-down shirts, but styling them in more relaxed, oversized ways. Instead of strictly formal office wear, the shirt becomes a versatile layering piece. And I'm not gonna lie, to me personally, I've always been seeing this around, especially in like high fashion industries. And I think, in my opinion, that it'd be a really good trend just because of the simplicity of it and how easily obtainable this item is. So I was like, bro, I have to throw this on the list. And finally, trend number 7, loafers. I don't know about y'all, but loafers to me are like Timberlands, bro. They're so timeless. I don't think there's gonna be any decade where the people go without wearing loafers like that. I feel like that's just impossible. And I don't even want to say loafers are becoming popular again because like I said, they're timeless. They've always been popular, but they are increasing more in popularity. Loafer offer things like structure, simplicity, and everyday wearability. Like if I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm finna go somewhere real quick, loafers. If I'm finna loafers. Modern versions often feature thicker soles or slightly exaggerated proportions. Brands like Dior or Miu Miu, hopefully I'm saying that right. Even Doc Martin has some tough loafers, dude. And I even heard brands like Dior and Miu Miu are introducing like loafers to their next runway or incorporating it into their runway style. It's a safe thing to predict loafers, but I just feel like they really are timeless. It just works. It literally just works. I always see loafers in thrift stores. They be too oversized though. They be like size 12. We're not doing that. But you can definitely find some in the mall. I hate the mall, but the mall has sales and deals. Like, bro, I bought these Pumas. These things were like $40, bro. Like, there's no way. I bought some yellow ones the same day as well. They were also, those were like 60. I'm like, yo, you can't beat the 2 pair for $100. Y'all gotta get in the mall, bro. Y'all have to. If not, then like I said, a good alternative, but it's a hit or miss, is a thrift store. I would try Goodwill. Goodwill has some really good loafers. Even though I hate on Goodwill like it's no tomorrow, I've actually been going to Goodwill and finding some really good stuff recently. So take that as you will. So here's the big realization of this whole entire ordeal, right? Fashion rarely invents completely new clothing. Instead, designers reinterpret existing garments and present them in a new context. So what does this mean? And this means the difference between the thrift store and a runway is often just styling your pieces. So the next time you see a runway trend that costs hundreds or even thousands of dollars, take a look at the thrift store first, bro. I'm 100% positive that they will have this piece within there. You just have to look. But you have made it to the end of the video. I appreciate you guys for staying all the way to the end. We're on our way to 3,000 subscribers, so make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm. And if you enjoyed this video, I highly recommend Is Thrifting Dead? It's a banger video, bro. I would like to think so. And with that being said, it's been your boy Fred, and we out.